How's it going, everyone? Javita here with a new bomb mining tutorial crash course type thing. As you're probably well aware of, Boundless is just like on the eve of being reset, and like everything has changed. And what the heck, how do we bomb mine now? Because if you're unfamiliar, like pretty much every single aspect of it has changed. So the skills have changed, the durability reduction has changed, the bombs have changed. You can now change the bombs in the forge, so it's like there's a crazy amount of wiggle room and customization, and yeah, it's mostly for the better, but it does make the puzzle a little bit more complex. Also, since everything is going to be reset, it's no longer such that like, oh, we only care about mining on ring worlds or level 3 worlds. I could see an argument for bomb mining on just about any worlds there is. And so yeah, I kind of need something a little bit better than just grab some diamond bombs, use this particular spec, and use 5 bombs and it breaks the rock most of the time. But yeah, so if you're unfamiliar with the concept of bomb mining, basically you're going to throw a bomb, and what you want is to clear out all the regular rock but not the resources. And as you can see, I'm just the tiniest hiccup away from breaking the resources. That's because my spec is such that I do the maximum amount of damage, but I still don't break the resources, which I do not recommend. There is a chance for bombs to critical strike, and potentially I could blow up the resources with this spec. However, I wanted to try to figure out like how much damage can I do without breaking the resources, so I can show you all this. So yeah, I went and made a bomb mining calculator. So this is a Google spreadsheet. In the description, I'll throw this link so you can go to this. I'll probably also make a forum post on the Boundless forums that will have this, as well as kind of maybe a written up guide. So maybe I'll have a link to that in the description, since it'll give better instructions. And then yeah, this is a work in progress, and I might add some instructions to this somewhere on the spreadsheet, but I kind of want to keep it as clean as possible. As you can see, there's already a lot of crazy stuff going on here. But yeah, we have essentially 3 main variables when we're looking at bomb mining. The first is going to be, what planet are you mining on? So homeworlds, well, there actually will be a level 0 and a level 1 world, but presumably I think they have the same block durability, but that is yet to be seen. But from level 1 all the way up to level 8, each time you go up in level, the block HP goes up. Roughly speaking, resources are twice as durable as rock, so that's what allows us to go bomb mining, because all we have to do is figure out what damage range do we need to be inside of to be able to break the rock and not the resources. So for a level 1 world or a starter world, we need to be doing between 4,000 and 4,600-ish damage to be able to break rocks without breaking the resources. And that's if you're going to try to go for like one-shotting the rock. So as you can see down here, there are 3 categories. So we kind of have okay, better, and best type scenario. And yeah, so right here, this is the damage modifier needed to attain this category. So if we're looking at copper bombs, we can look over here and say, oh, we need to be between 364 and 420% extra damage to be able to one-shot rock, which is impossible. You get this via skills. If you come down here, there's a brief breakdown of the different sources of getting extra damage for bombs from the skills, and down here you can see the maximum that you can get from skills is 240% extra damage. So yeah, copper bombs are not going to be able to one-shot rock. However, you can come over here and you can see with 2 bombs we can very comfortably 2-shot rock with this amount of damage modifier, which is the amount of damage modifier I have right now in my current build. So very nice. And not so great scenario is needing 3 bombs to achieve this, but you can see I could have as little as 55% extra damage and still be able to use 3 bombs to break the rock. However, if you like me and you like to max out power and get the damage epic, which that gives you extra damage across all tools and weapons, that's going to give you 140% extra damage. So that is generally the target range I shoot for. So let's take a look at what if we want to go mining on a level 3 world like Anduin or Muntean 7 and things like that. And you can see very quickly copper bombs just isn't going to cut it. However, we can come down here and go, okay, iron bombs, that is at least possible. But even more attractively is the gold bombs right here. That's still within having max power and the damage epic. Those two together will give you 140% extra damage. And so you can see with 2 bombs, I can go bomb mining on ring worlds, which is pretty amazing because that means between copper and gold all the way up to level 3 worlds, you don't have to use gems to go bomb mining. And technically this calculator goes all the way up to level 8 worlds, but beyond level 4, this is only theoretical. Each time you go up in a level on a planet, the block health goes up by 50%. So theoretically for level 8 worlds, it would be 4.5 times the block HP of a home world. So but that of course is theoretical. I can't really test that right now. So I did mention earlier that there are 3 variables, so you can forge bombs. So right up here, the only way you can forge extra damage onto bombs is going for the devastating damage boon, and there are 10 ranks of that. It's going to be a little bit random whether or not you can get this, and especially whether or not you can get the right rank of it. I tried to put just a level rank boon on a bomb, and yeah, the very first time I put some boon points on there, it jumped all the way to rank 4. So if you're trying to get a low rank of this damage boon, it might be a little bit tricky. But as you can see, a level 4 boon would just about get me to the 2-shot range for copper bombs. So let's see here, maybe rank 5. Whew, that is a little bit of a narrow range. It's like, yeah, rank 4 is not quite enough. Rank 5 is just perfect. And let's see here, rank 6. Yeah, rank 6 is a bit too much. So, but anyway, you can play around with this. I'll show you a little bit later. I have the AoE ranges listed here, and it's extremely easy to forge extra AoE onto bombs, so I highly recommend doing that if it's at all feasible. Because yeah, with a very minimal amount of forging, you can take a copper bomb and make it the max AoE range, which is 4 meters. So all you would have to do is get 1 extra meter onto copper bombs. If you're doing something like iron bombs, then you can get an extra 2 meters on top of its normal range. And yeah, it's really easy to do that. The devastating damage boon is a little bit more tricky, but still not too bad. And yeah, the least ideal situation, you're trying to add both AoE and damage onto a bomb. It's not impossible by any means, but you're probably going to end up with some duds here and there. And just a little extra note on this damage range right here. This is what you want to see your bomb doing in the bomb tooltip if you want to one-shot resources. You only have to do half of this if you're going for 2 shots, or a third if you're going for 3 shots. So if you're wondering what this damage range right here is, that is a brief explanation of that. So for the time being on live, there is, I honestly don't know if it's a bug or it might be intended, but as you can see, if you use a bomb that one-shots the rock, you do not get experience for breaking the rock, which is rather unfortunate because that is the most efficient use case scenario. However, you can still get experience if you need at least 2 bombs to break the blocks. come over here to copper bombs. It takes 2 to break on this particular planet. And as you can see, I got a lot of experience for doing that. You can actually level very quickly via bomb mining. So yeah, until this gets addressed, I would probably recommend targeting the 2-shot range if you can. And just to highlight the importance of the AoE range on bombs, here is what a 3-meter bomb looks like. As you can see, it really didn't do just a whole lot. Let the damage on these blocks reset and we'll see what a 4-meter bomb looks like. As you can see, that cleared out a much bigger area. It exposed a lot more surface area. So just adding 1 extra meter range on a bomb has a huge difference on your mining experience. Not only the actual experience that you're getting for breaking the blocks, but how fast you're going to uncover resources and how efficiently you're going to uncover resources. Okay, so coming over to the skill tree, I'm just going to very briefly go over all the different skills that affect bomb mining. So right off the bat, we have power. This is going to give you a damage modifier or a % extra damage to everything you do. So if you're mining with shovels, hammers, axes, or bombs, power is going to increase the damage of all of those by a certain %. So there's the first one. You can come down here. The next one is going to be Bomb Mastery. This is going to boost the damage of bombs only. It also gives you extra action speed for bombs, which will allow you to throw them faster. However, that action speed for bombs really doesn't matter. And another good thing to note is that this attribute bonus over here, each rank of this will give you an extra 2% to your damage modifier since it adds a little bit of power. So you can get some really fine grade control with this. However, I generally like to go with max power and then worry about the fine grade control with maybe Bomb Mastery or something else. Coming down a little bit further under Epic 1, there is the Bomb Damage Epic, and this is the same thing as taking 5 ranks into this. The advantage of taking this over this one over here is that you can use 1 cleanse point to unlearn this epic. So if you needed to toggle this off, you can use 1 cleanse point to unlearn this and then put those 5 points, say, over into the Slingbow epic. And that is the drawback, is that if you want the Slingbow epic, it's an either or situation. But just like the Bomb Mastery up here, this Slingbow Mastery and this Slingbow epic will do the same thing with the same amount of points. So if you're unfamiliar, you can put up to 5 ranks into these masteries up here. Down here, each of these costs 5 points, but it's all at once. And this doesn't have anything to do with damage. However, it's extremely important to bomb mining, is this durability drain epic down here. This will make your bombs use 30% less durability with each throw. Since bombs only have 99 durability, this is simply a must-have. Otherwise, you're going to burn through your bombs in no time at all. And on that same note, you're going to want some sort of persisting food to augment this even further. And obviously a persisting pie is going to do best. However, if you have to settle for something less than a persisting pie, then that is your personal preference. Then finally down here, the last thing that can augment bomb damage is this damage epic. This gives you a flat 50% extra damage to everything you do. So if you take max power and this damage epic, that gives you 140% extra damage. And yeah, if you're curious on how to find this a little bit easier, you can come over to character, head to profile, come down here to combat and effect, and now you can see here's your general damage modifier, which I have 90% because I have maximum power. I have no other damage sources, so yeah. But if you have, say, a little bit of bomb mastery, you'll need to take this bomb damage modifier down here and add it to your general damage modifier, and that will give your total extra damage when using bombs. And once you know your damage modifier, you can come over here and see what are your options using that particular damage modifier. If there's no really good options, So let's say for some reason I really want to use iron bombs. I can come over here and it's like, well, I have 140% extra damage. I could put another 3 points into bomb mastery, and that would give me 180% extra damage, which would put me nicely into this 2-shot modifier range. A good thing to note about these ranges is that there should be a little bit of wiggle room. These numbers up here aren't exact, but they should be balanced to where you can be just a little bit under this minimum value and still be able to one-shot rock, and you should be able to go a little bit outside of this maximum value and still not break the resources. However, to be safest, you want to be in the middle as much as possible, since things like critical strikes might be enough to push you just over that magical line to where you're either not breaking the rocks all the time or you're sometimes breaking the resources. Okay, so now that we've covered everything else, I want to show just how easy it is to get extra AoE effect onto bombs. So I have my copper bombs down here, and yeah, copper bombs are quite flexible, so they should be able to forge even without all this fancy setup. So in order to target the extra AoE, we will need a longevity gum. The longevity gum has to do with, well, basically lengthening things. You cannot get extra durability onto bombs, but you can make the explosion, I guess, last longer, which increases the AoE range. That's about the only way I can really logically kind of justify that, but can begin forging down here. And the first step is you're going to want to put on I usually like to do 4 gums, but you could probably get away with less. The only effect in the longevity category is the extra AoE, so it's pretty fail-safe. You do want to get at least a decent amount of gums on there to ensure that you're going to get that longevity effect and not some other random effect. So 4 seems to work pretty good. Okay, so I got my 4 gums on there. Now I can come over here, and I usually like to do a boon boost paste, but this is probably way overkill. But this is going to give me an extra 50% boon points from my boon compounds. So right off the bat, it's going to give me 750 boon points, which is going to almost completely fill up this bar. Very nice. It's going to roll, and oh, you just barely missed. So we can come over here and use this regular boon compound to save a little bit of vigor and resources as well. Okay, and there we go. There is our bigger boom boon. Wow, I'll say that 5 times fast. So it's not quite on there just yet, but yeah, go ahead and use another basic compound. There we go, filled up our bars, so this should give us, wow, rolling really low here. Okay, so it looked like it was going to try to put a different effect on there, but it kind of mispredicted. So there we go. We got our bigger boon. You see that we got rank 2. However, it's still only giving us 1 extra meter of range. That's because copper bombs have an area of effect of 3, and so you can put a higher level boon on there, but it's never going to go higher than the maximum of 4. At this point, we can use our setting resin to set this bomb. If we needed some extra damage, we can now try to do that. You would need the effect gum, but yeah, the effect category is a bit broader for bombs, and so yeah, you can use trait reduction gum. Once you get the trait that you want on the bomb, you can put the trait reduction gum on there, and that's going to encourage further points to go towards the boons that are already on there instead of putting extra boons on there or other new boons. And also you can use the boon removal solvent. That will remove the last boon applied. So if you get something crazy on there that you don't want, there are options to remove it. But yeah, that's a more complicated process and a little bit outside of what this video is going to be covering. So now we can set this, and there we go. Now we can go over to the queue and see that yes, our area of effect will be boosted up to 4, and Yeah, perfect. That's exactly what we needed. So as you can see, that took a very, very minimal amount of forging, which uses very little resources, and yet it's going to make a huge difference in our bomb mining adventures. So I think that covers this topic pretty well. Just to reiterate on the calculator, you're going to start off by picking what level planet you're going to mine on. That's going to give your target damage, and then you can come down here and see just how much damage modifier you actually need. There's even instructions right here that tells you to go to character menu, character profile, combat and effects in the game. Tells you to add your general damage modifier and your bomb damage modifier to figure out how much extra damage you're actually doing. And yeah, if there's just no good options here, you can come over here and explore the different ranks of the devastating damage boon to make it theoretically possible to do bomb mining. So worst case scenario, you're on a level 8 planet, and yeah, you're gonna need some sort of extra damage. But yeah, you can see right here, Emerald Bombs will be able to two-shot rocks on a level 8 world, at least theoretically, using only max power and the damage epic. So that is actually pretty awesome. And if you messed up on forging and you didn't quite get the damage boon that you needed, you could also come over here, select your rank of damage boon, and see what you need to have to be able to use it effectively. Maybe there's a particular planet you can use it on, or you just might have to modify your skills just a little bit to take out or add in a little bit of extra damage. So all in all, pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. It is still a work in progress, but this should be fairly easy to maintain moving forward, and it will only get better with time. So anyway, this was Javita. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more like this, and if there's anything you didn't like, please let me know down below. Also, if you like my channel, want to get cool perks, check out my Patreon page. Until next time, peace.